Good morning. I cannot deal with such a huge subject of faith, life and science in 5 minutes, but I'd like to get you started thinking about it. Science helps us to understand what's going on behind nature and wonderful things. And to that end, I'd like to show you a miracle. And here it is, in all its various forms. Life on this planet, most life on this planet, is dependent on what goes on in the green stuff in this leaf. So what happens? Well, this leaf is green, although it does have other pigments in it, which we can't see in the summer until the autumn, red and yellow. Now, these red and yellow pigments are always there, and they capture the light energy from the sun, and they channel it down to the green stuff in the leaf, and the green stuff makes use of it. So if you go out on a sunny day and you pick a piece of parsley and you eat it, you are eating sunlight. So what does the green stuff do with the sunlight, the energy? Well, it splits apart water into its elements of hydrogen and oxygen. It grabs the hydrogen, combines it with carbon dioxide, and you get a compound of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which we call a carbohydrate or a sugar. And then it stores it, either carrots, potatoes, fruit, all sorts of vegetables, which we can eat. Now I want to think for a moment about the green stuff. And here's a picture, if you can see that, of the compound molecule, which is chlorophyll. It's made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and magnesium. Now, if I were to give you those 5 elements and a laboratory and ask you please to use the laboratory to make chlorophyll, you would not be able to do it. You will only find these compounds in life forms. We have a compound molecule like that, hemoglobin. This should start us wondering, how does life use it? I don't know what life is. It's not energy, it's not electricity. The only way that you know something is alive is because we're moving. If I weren't moving or not breathing, I'd be dead. There's no instruments that can measure how much life there is either in me or this plant. Life is an amazing substance. So, where are we? We are now with carbohydrates. The plant has gone to huge trouble to put these carbohydrates together. We eat the carbohydrates, but we have to split it apart again in order to get energy, and so life goes full circle. Now here's a problem. You don't want to split the carbohydrate apart too quickly because it produces heat, and if you have too much heat, you would combust and there wouldn't be much left of you. So I'm going to try to show you, just a moment, how complicated this is. And I don't know if you can see, those are all the chemical reactions needed to split apart carbohydrate and give us energy. And it's so complicated, I'm not even going to attempt to explain it. So as I said, life goes full circle. We get energy from these. We are connected together. Without these, we wouldn't exist. So I'm going to leave it to you to decide, could it have happened by accident? Now, what I have talked about today isn't the tip of the iceberg. It's just a minute, little tiny detail of life on this planet. As it says in Job, excuse me a minute. Here we are. Job 26:14. All this but skirts the ways he treads. A whispered echo is all that we hear of him. Science is wonderful in helping us understand how complex life is. And if you can, look out of the window, go to a park and wonder about where all these things came from. Science will help us to understand how complicated it is, and you're free to go and find a science book and work it out. Why, for instance, do birds fly? How do they fly? The bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly, but it does. And I'm certain the Lord does it with a sense of humour to confound us and say, I know that you think it can't do this, but I'm going to show you that it can. And you can read a science book on how it does it with these tiny, tiny wings on a huge bumblebee. I hope that I've started you thinking. Exploring what God has done is a wonderful thing, and it does build your faith. And it helps us to understand that one day God will put everything right on this planet for us. He can do it, and he will do it. So it gives us hope. So I hope that we can keep our faith strong in this way. Thank you for watching this morning.